Thank you for being with us, Mr. Assistant Secretary.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask from North Korean people's perspective, sir. So my first question is, why is this action important at this time?
One of the things that we want to do is to tell people inside North Korea that we know what is happening. We know that people are punished just for expressing an opinion. We know about the labor camps. We know that people can be arrested or even killed for trying to leave the country. We know that it's sometimes unsafe even to listen to a radio broadcast like this. This is wrong. This is not how people live anywhere else in the world. And we also know who is responsible for these abuses of people's basic rights. And so today we tried to name those people. The person who is most responsible, of course, is the leader of the country, Kim Jong-un. In any country, the leader is the person who is most responsible. But we also tried to name other officials, lower officials who are responsible for such things as running the labor camps and hunting down defectors. We also want them to know, we know who you are, we know your name, and someday you will also face punishment.
As you mentioned, this is the first time the U.S. has sanctioned Kim Jong-un. Why now?
Well, I think we have tried very hard to resolve problems with North Korea through dialogue, through diplomacy, and we're not going to stop trying because we think that's the best way to build peace. But we haven't had a lot of success in the last few years. There has been more and more provocative behavior, and of course the people of North Korea have continued to suffer under a system that denies them rights that people in South Korea and in other parts of the world enjoy every day. And so we thought the time had come to make a very strong statement about this. And again, to name the people responsible, to put out the facts so that everybody can judge for themselves.
Pyongyang said today the sanction on Kim Jong-un is declaration of war. How do you respond?
Well, I think it's the fourth time they have this year that Pyongyang has said that something that we or South Korea have done is a declaration of war. That's the kind of rhetoric that we are used to from the North Korean regime. Everything is about violence, everything is about war. And the time for war talk in the Korean Peninsula is long past. Nobody wants war, nobody wants war talk. What we want is a peaceful solution to this problem that gives the people of North Korea their rights and their voice, because that's what they deserve.
The report is warning not just a senior official, senior leaders, but the middle-level officials. So what consequence could they face in the future?
If there is change on the Korean Peninsula, and I think many of those officials know that someday there will be change. This situation can't last forever. It's not going to be to their advantage to be on this list. Someday they may be having to find new jobs and new lives in a much more normal country, hopefully a democratic country. And I think being on the list of the worst human rights violators, those responsible for terrible, terrible, cruel acts against the North Korean people, it's not going to be good for their future.
Why should the U.S. care about the human rights in North Korea?
Well, I think we have learned over many, many years that if people, ordinary people, do not have a voice, it's very hard to achieve peace. But where ordinary people can speak out, when they hold their governments accountable, as the people of South Korea have over the years won the right to do, war is much less likely. Conflict is much less likely. Democratic countries that respect human rights, they don't go to war against each other. And so we hope that progress in advancing the human rights of the North Korean people will advance our shared goals in peace and stability.
A former North Korean college student in Pyongyang shared that the biggest obstacle for change in North Korea is a lack of critical thinking. So, what critical thinking are they lacking now, and how can the outside world, how can we help those people in North Korea?
I'm not sure if I agree. I think the people of North Korea are fully capable of critical thinking. I think the North Koreans who have chosen to listen to this radio broadcast can think about what I'm saying, and they can judge whether I'm right or whether I am wrong. Nobody needs to teach North Koreans how to think. What North Koreans are lacking sometimes is information, because their government denies them the ability to learn about the rest of the world, to learn about sometimes their own history. And we need information to make good critical choices about our lives and about our country. So one thing that we can try to do through radio broadcasts like this and through other means is to try to deliver more knowledge and information to people in North Korea so that they can make their own choices. And I think they're very capable of doing that.
Is there underlying to the underlying signal to China through this report too?
Not really. No, the signal is to the government of North Korea that we are watching, we know what you are doing, and that there can be consequences in the future. And the signal is to the people of North Korea that we know what you have suffered, and we have faith that there is a better possible future for you and that we are on your side.
How about the people in North Korea?
The message to the people of North Korea is we know what you are experiencing. We hear from you. We hope that you will hear more from us. We hope to get to know you better in the future. And we think that there is the possibility of a future in which you have the same rights as your brothers and sisters in South Korea and the United States and all the democratic countries of the world. We know that it's going to take time and it's going to be hard to get there, but the United States wants to see that kind of peaceful change on the Korean Peninsula.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
President Secretary.
Thank you very much.